Okay.
Because so good day everyone. Today we've got like a webinar that contains a topic in which it's been on my mind since a good few years because I have personal experience with the topic today. Growing up in a family that um, possess certain traits of this. Having said that, I've got my co-host, which will be my webinar um, partner in crime as well for this webinar that's coming up. And we'll be covering the topic of narcissism in the chart.
Hey guys.
And
Yeah.
and for
So
this, I have to find someone who's got Leo in the chart. I've got Leo in my chart as well, but there's a whole other thing. Um, so, Ian, do you have anything more to add? Because since we'll be co-hosting a webinar together on this topic coming up.
hey from me as well. Hey guys. Great to be here. First and foremost, I think we've been discussing this topic for I don't know, like 4, 5 years. We've been discussing maybe we should
Probably
do.
4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably 4 years.
a long time. We've been discussing this with Donnie, and we really wanted to do this. And I think now the time is, for me, I think it's right. Especially we're still in, for me, like we're still in Saturn and Pisces season. I'd like to do, maybe this is a good topic for Saturn and Pisces, at least in my
Well,
mind.
it's more like Pluto in Aquarius, to be honest.
I mean, that's okay as well. I'll give you my maybe 2 cents somewhere down the line where I think Pisces is also important for this specific topic. Um, and also I have a lot of experience with this energy, and most likely if you're watching this webinar and you're in tune to our channels and our information, most likely this means you guys have experience with this energy as well. And we're going to do our best to kind of walk you through it and help you through it. And the full-blown teaching webinar will be interactive, so you guys can also jump in and give your 2 cents and also recharge with me and Donnie as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that as well.
Oh, yes, we'll be taking questions from the audience. And if you want to sign up for the webinar, I will put the details in the description box below. You just have to like send me an email with a heading, and we will publish the details on the pricing and all those other nitty gritty stuff in the coming weeks. So
Yeah. So let's stay tuned for that. That's amazing. That's going to be filled with a lot of information. Let's just jump into this right now. Yeah. I do feel somewhat edgy talking about this, but I think it's also an important topic for many people, like I said, that are in tune with our specific information that we share. And we're going to talk about, um, you know, let me show the title as well: Deep Secrets of Narcissists Uncovered. And this is, I think, a lot of what these people don't actually want you to know. And me and Donnie have, let's call it, I think we have unique and deep insights into this energy. And a little bit about the agenda, like what we're going to cover is like what the narcissist actually is. Some things you might know, some things I'm pretty sure you won't know. And I'm talk about the dynamic as well, because most likely if you're watching this, you're going to be on the empath side, and you're going to be in a tug of war, let's call it what it is, with the narcissist. And then we're going to obviously talk a lot about the astrology as well. So this is important.
I just want to
Yeah,
also
go.
add here that we are not clinically diagnosing someone because there's certain situations in which narcissism can become a personality disorder. And we are not going there. We're just looking at astrology, what's in the chart, what may indicate someone that has perhaps like an inflated sense of self or ego, delusions of grandeur, consistent need for praise and admiration. These are symptoms of narcissism. A certain sense of entitlement as well that comes along with that. And perhaps this comes together with a lack of empathy for others, which I do see pretty often. But there's also instances of bullying and also compulsive lying that's involved as well. But all this does not contribute to a personality disorder. I just want to make it clear. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not diagnosing. We're trying to give you, at least we're doing our best to give you the tools to navigate some of these situations you might be in.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've understood, that if you're on the empath side, on the intuitive, sensitive person, you have these caring emotions and feelings. There's going to be at minimum at least one of these deep and dark relationships in your life as well. This is what I've uncovered with the people I've worked with, obviously my own life as well. Yeah. So couple of things from my end as well. Like it's not just like a person who is very selfish or with a big ego, although that can come into it. It is for me it's a psychological survival structure. And what do I mean by that is they are deeply incapable of and afraid of even feeling anything. So it usually starts somewhere in the childhood, very early on, and they experience some deep form of neglect. So emotional neglect. Most often it's by the parents, one of the parents, father, mother. Sometimes it is like a caretaker, grandparent, uncle, whatever. Foster parent can even be that. But the problem here is they don't receive the attention or the love from that caregiver who is supposed to give that attention. So that will leave a huge hole, huge emptiness within themselves. And this is a very important place, because this is where what I like to call almost like the decision time, because a lot of us, a lot of empaths also experience some of this or similar things. There is a decision moment in that place where a person can decide, okay, I will go through this, I will transform it, I will transform this energy healthily, and I will use it to help others. I will develop empathic qualities thanks to that. Or they can go to the dark side, let's call it, choosing the wrong pill, so to speak. But I don't want to like put it down too much, because I do believe it. Some of these people are working with very painful matters. So this is one of the reasons why they can't go into the healing, and they go into the darkness and start actually forming these identities and start controlling. And like Donnie already said, using these tactics to get what they need, to get the love, to get the attention, to get the energy from the empath.
I think it boils down to one word, really. They need that fuel to keep going. And they will stop at nothing to get that fuel. Yeah.
That's a big one.
And that's because there's almost like a sense of a wounded ego or sense of self. I mean, it all boils down to like nature versus nurture, right? But if the chart already has some kind of predisposition to nature, the nurture part, it doesn't need to push that hard to make that person become who he or she is, put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, very well put. And a lot of these things. Donnie already mentioned grandiosity, and a lot of these things that they develop are a cover up for that internal emptiness that they're actually experiencing. And one really important thing for me is to understand, because I wanted you guys to understand it. It's like they seek the control to avoid the feeling inside, to not really look at themselves deeply, because they're so deeply afraid of that big hurt and big pain. So instead, they do all the things Donnie mentioned, like the control, manipulate, grandiosity, etc. So you need, for me, to navigate this and navigate the relationship with them, you need to basically understand why they're doing this. Otherwise, it will be very easy for you to also slip into being a victim. And that's
There is also
yeah.
this sense of disassociation. And hence, I found that this disassociation, after some time, it has somehow crystallized as this kind of incongruency between the self and reality. So they can go into this kind of what I call psychosis. Yeah.
I think it's really, that's a really big point. And one of the things I've seen is almost like the stare goes blank once you kind of like challenge them, or kind of like say something they don't like, or take away some of the things, like we said. It's you're their fuel, most like you or
You will,
somebody or something. You take that away, you take the love and attention away, like it changes their whole demeanor, like psychosis, like that their whole everything changes there. And this is one of the things I also say, like, if you're not sure, if you are like, they're doing something very strange, but I'm not 100% sure that it's this, you can always take that fuel away for a little while and see how they react. Not to manipulate anybody, but just to see how a person reacts if you're not their fuel anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly go ahead. Most of you guys know what an empath is, because you're most likely it. But just to kind of paint the picture, we're telling a story here, and very often empaths do feel others' emotions, feelings, everything that's happening to another person. They feel it in their body or their own energetic sphere. Definitely a problem with emotional boundaries, and I would say this is a lifelong journey for any empath or any sensitive person. And very often this also starts from childhood, where the environment was well, you had to develop these gifts acutely, or so acutely, so you would survive whatever situation you were born
It's
in.
almost like their nervous system is consistently being tested. It's almost like a fight or flight most of the time. And this is like a buildup of this heightened awareness and sense of the world around them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very caring, nurturing, but overly responsible for other people's pain and suffering, which leads a lot of empaths to try to fix, help others by sacrificing themselves. And the worst part about this is, I would say, if we're looking at from a very like the narcissist type energy, is you will try to fix, and you will believe you can fix these people. Okay, after a little power break, we're back.
Oh,
But
yes.
that's
The topic's too
what
close to heart. Yeah.
it's too hot. But let's continue, guys. I think this is why we're doing this. It's because it's too hot, and people need to hear about this. So a couple of things we've already discussed here is the narcissist needs the external source of energy. That's the empath. That's where people like you, unfortunately, me and Donnie come in as well. So they are the dynamic is weird here, but it's if you kind of step away for a moment, it starts to make sense. You are a little bit more sensitive. You like to help people. You like to heal people, definitely. Now, the narcissist can pick up on that. They can literally see that you're more sensitive, that you are more willing as well. So they really latch on, and they can quickly latch on as well if they see that. Now, like we said before, it's impossible basically to heal them or nurture them back to healthy life or whatever. It's impossible. You cannot take responsibility for that. I'm going to probably say that a couple of times at least, to really drive this point home. And like the dynamic most likely that you had in childhood, you're just playing it out. And this is one of the reasons I put down this point here. It's a very similar pattern. If you were raised most likely in a similar dynamic or a similar parent, you're going to be attracting that energy later on in life as well, as a very, it's almost, I would say it's almost like a test, unfortunately, what I've seen, especially with many people and myself as well. It seems later on when you start to really pick up on things, it starts to seem like a test. And the annoying thing with tests is until you kind of like make the stand or do something about it or shift and change, they're going to just keep sending you these people, which is not fun. Yeah.
I think that empaths and narcissists, they have such a symbiotic relationship going on. They just kind of gravitate naturally to each other. And at times, I have noticed that natural empaths basically take on narcissistic traits just to survive a relationship with a narcissist. It's almost like because empaths, or should I say victims of narcissists, they naturally already have a lack of boundaries, and they kind of gotten to understand the mirroring of behavior just to get along. So I have seen cases where their chart basically infers that they are empaths, but they take on narcissistic traits through conditioning and also the breaking down of their natural self. Because when we talk about narcissistic behavior, we can't take out the element of gaslighting.
Yeah.
They always make you feel like somehow you're the crazy one. And after a while, it just gets so exhausting. And somehow you have to like kind of mirror their behavior to kind of stay a little bit longer, should I say? Yeah.
I think that's what you just said is really crucial, because it, like the gaslighting can make it seem in your brain, when you maybe you take a time off and step away from it, you can start to doubt yourself. You can literally start to, am I wronging them? Am I really wronging them? Am I doing
Am I the crazy one?
Am I the crazy? Am I doing all these things to them and they are the victim? That's what they want you to actually believe, because
Right.
they themselves actually believe, but it's also a controlling mechanism. Once they get you to believe that you are wronging them, it's much and far easier for them to control you and get
Because
to
there's
hang on to that power supply. Yeah, go ahead.
because there's manipulation and control technique 101, really.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
big book. So.
Couple of things I really want you to get here as well that these are on the slides as well. They can't admit fault. And this is what I've seen with all of the ones that I personally have interacted with, but I also again with people I work with, it's the same constant dynamic, is they cannot admit that they're wrong. Now this literally threatens their survival and identity. One of the reasons being is a lot of these people have a big fear of being like a bad person. Now, admitting that they're faulty or they made a mistake or they are in the wrong means in their minds that they're wrong or a bad person. So if that's true, they are again unlovable and they have to experience that energy, that fear, that pain, that deep emptiness within themselves. Again, they will never, I've never seen them apologize, literally. I've never seen them apologize. This is again, it's a red flag, obviously, if a person can apologize, but it's hard. It's a one that doesn't immediately come up. So,
Or if they
yeah.
actually apologize, they want something out of it that's to their advantage.
Good
And
one. Yeah, and
you
one.
have to realize that like, when certain things are too good to be true, they're probably not. So
Yeah, for me, I haven't seen one, but if I really like that how you framed it, because everything they do is to get something out of you. It's like get the energy supply going, and an apology is definitely one of
the
them.
fuel,
The
yes.
fuel.
Yeah.
So basically, an apology for them in there somewhere down, deep down in the subconscious, means that they're unlovable. So they have to basically get that, or they would have to feel that again. Very, very much they're almost deeply scared to feel and experience that abandonment and shame. It's what drives
How
them.
do I put it? It's almost like they dissociate from themselves to run away from themselves. When I think about narcissists, right? Okay, pardon me for saying this, but the sign of Leo really comes in. And when I look at the Venus yacht, what do I mean by the Venus yacht? So it's like this yacht that's pointing towards the sign of Leo at the tip. What are the two supporting bays that's pointing to the sign of Leo? Capricorn and Pisces. That kind of summarize pretty well what we've been discussing, because Capricorn is the mask or the public mask, so to speak. The Pisces playing the victim.
Yeah,
So if
Pisces.
anything that you can't get into your mind, just look at the Venus yacht with the tip being Leo. Then just draw the yacht accordingly. Yeah.
Now I just want to defend the sign of Leos, or I just want to put a
Oh no, no,
disclaimer
no.
out there.
I mean, it's like Leo naturally comes in as a sign. People usually associate that. But of course, there's like, it's the unhealthy version of how the Leo, or should I say the sun or the fifth house, may manifest.
Yeah, extremely. I would say Leo is obviously almost always the first one that we kind of think. Having said that, I would want to just say, guys, a disclaimer, a big disclaimer is whatever position configuration we discuss, it doesn't mean that when you have a Leo sun like I have, that you're going immediately, this person is a narcissist. Or if you're if you're reading a chart and you see a Capricorn, I don't know, Venus, that they're going to be a narcissist. No, it doesn't work like that. We're going to give you
A list.
a list, and the more they have, the likelihood, increases. Let's keep it at that, or something along
Yeah,
those lines.
astrology indicators or significators is always a checklist. The more you have, the more tendency or confidence interval.
Yeah.
I just want to put it out there. Yeah.
Just don't go around immediately pointing fingers to people
At
and say
Leos.
at Leos, because I feel the Leo energy,
I feel very attacked. Yeah. So
it needs proper channeling, and then unfortunately most people cannot channel the Leo energy properly, because it's quite strong, I would say. And it's really easy to go into those negative sides, with like it
I
is
just
with
want to
every sign.
also mention here that Leo is just one half of the axis. We'll talk about axis actually, because Leo is more overt in terms of its expression, but we haven't talked about the opposite sign, which is more covert, that's the sign of Aquarius. Because we cannot deny that there's overt narcissist and covert narcissist. And they operate, the basis is still pretty much the same, but it's the way they express it out is in a different form.
Yeah, the covert one is definitely more tricky because it takes much longer.
It
in my
probably takes
experience.
longer for you to figure out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you will find more justifications when it's a covert one. And I want to kind of like, we're getting to the astrology in a second, but I want to quickly go through some of the red flags that especially empaths have hard time of understanding, because very often this is the reason here I put over the top charm early on, and over the top, let's say, attention or seemingly love early on, is a lot of empaths are malnourished when it comes to receiving love and receiving care, receiving nurture, receiving attention. And once finally, the narcissist comes in, they give you so much all at once. And at first it feels really good, because you're finally getting something that you've looked for such a long time. And then
That's called love bombing, by the way.
love bombing, exactly. And it seems like you are going to get the thing you deserved and wanted for so long and prayed for and yearned for so long. But unfortunately, this is a different story, and they're going to use that.
It almost seems like it comes in a concentrated capsule.
Nice.
In dosage. That's the best way I can put it. And it comes really fast and it hits you really fast, like a opioid kind of, effect.
Yeah, it will trigger a lot of your own addictions as well, definitely, or emotional triggers that will make you latch on to that person as well at first.
It's
So
like that dopamine overflow. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's to trigger that love bombing, yeah.
You're going to feel good, is also. But okay,
A high.
a high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a couple of other things, definitely. Then you will start to see like the mood swings, silent treatments, playing the victim, huge one.
The gaslighting.
The
manipulation.
Everything, the guilt, shame, obligation, like it's all meant to control you, and get you basically into that dynamic of you're wronging them, because that's the way they can control you, or one of the ways. Now, later on, it becomes finances, housing, social connections, social circles. Children is one that I've seen that I guess was really, I was working with this person, and it was really just painful to see, because being a parent myself now, it's like they're they're almost like using children as pawns, unfortunately, in their scheme, in their game. So, but this is more like a very deep, once the relationship has evolved to a very late stages.
If you think about it, your very last point on this, like finances, social connections, all those things, aren't those like the fixed houses, 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th? So just as a preview to the audience, there's a lot of connotations to the fixed houses and to the fixed signs.
Yeah. I think, let me just check. Okay, I have a couple of things here I just want to say, and then we can step into the astrology as well. A couple of things they might say. I did all of this for you, and how you repay me. Like they will do something for you only to get something out of you, basically get that energy supply back.
They have it in their repertoire in case they need to pull out this first bullet point sentence that you typed.
they can literally, yeah, use it. It goes into
Use it
some
against
bank.
you.
It goes
Yeah.
into like a database basically, and then they will draw it once they need it. Uh, yeah. Full sacrifice, a big one. They will do something again only like I'll sell my home, I'll sell my car, I will do this, I will move there only if you really need it, and again it goes into that database. um and the huge one here is like the energetic side. Now, if you're more sensitive, I'm not going to go just read these out for you later on, but I will, let's say, summarize this in a way. Is if you're very sensitive and intuitive, you will start to get images, like even feeling sensation, even almost like words can come from them as well. You will see them act. This usually means that they're very, very almost intensely focusing on you. They're kind of like wondering when you're going to call, when you're going to connect, when are you going to do something. This is also, if it's there constantly and it seems unhealthy, it's almost like dragging you out, or tiring you. I think this is another red flag, for you to understand that this is it's almost like a too intense connection. And I know a lot of people go and tell, like, oh, it's a, what do they call it, like soulmate, a twin flame. They put all these words, and oh, must be a soulmate, it must be a twin flame. Like, you might be dealing with a narcissist instead, because it's such an intense, I would say, a negative experience as well. So you need to start basically
I
pulling
mean,
your energy back, is what I mean.
together with the act of love bombing, they will try to use something that is like, oh my God, we are so destined to be together. Don't you love me?
Definitely.
It takes a while to kind of notice that, it's almost like you press the recording button on and then the face changes and then the show comes on. And then suddenly, like, it just kind of recording button off, and then like it suddenly becomes like stone cold and there's nothing behind the eyes. It takes like a certain sense of like heightened awareness and maybe sensitivity to pick those up, those signs.
Yeah, it takes time. And one thing really I want to touch upon what Donny just said is, like, they will learn what you care
What makes
about,
you tick?
what makes you tick, and what you are really like connected to. So if it's spiritual things, they will use spiritual lingo. If it's some other, thing that you really care about, they will use that lingo. And they will learn what you care about, what you put your attention to, and they will use it against you, unfortunately.
I think that's like very mirroring.
Mm.
It's like they know, they form as a mirror and reflect back to you about you. So it's
Mm.
almost like
Mm.
they are the mirror who actually make you feel in love with yourself, if you know what I
Nice,
mean.
nice. Yeah,
By
very
talking
nice.
about what actually turns you on or what makes you tick.
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things, very practical things as well. Like, if you already are in that situation and you don't really, let's say, know what to do, because it can be overwhelming. First thing is to understand internally that you're not responsible, because we love to take responsibility as empaths and as intuitive, sensitive people for other people's feelings and emotions. Doesn't You don't have to do that, as hard as it is, and as much as you need to get yourself out of it, you need to do it first. Now, more of on a private or a practical level, money is something they really love to use. So if you're in a situation where you're already they have full control, it's almost like the only way is to empower yourself with money, either increase your earnings, save it, separate accounts. All of these are good things that you need to basically prepare yourself. As much as I don't want to go into very deep things, unfortunately this happens, and if you want to get out of that situation, you need to prepare yourself from a very practical point of view as well.
I think one thing extra as well, like from the statements that you put, you gotta be super discreet about it.
100%.
But it all comes from a point where I'm done. You have to go to that point where but I'm done and be really sure about it. Then you can slowly disassociate yourself from the situation, the dynamics, and really like all those bullet points that you put is really Saturnian in nature, that separation. Because you need to know that what is actually the worst enemy of a narcissist. No time for them, no attention for them, no fuel for them. And
Yeah.
these are all the elaborations that you've mentioned.
Yeah, you basically what we're I think what we're doing our best to say is you cut off their power supply, and
The
sometimes
fuel.
the fuel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to do some practical steps to get to that point. If you're in a lucky position where you have all those done, then you can do it more quickly usually, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be very easy, because they will try to come back. They will, couple of things that they will definitely try to do is they will, if they already have some form of connection with the people, the social circles, etc., that you care about. For example, they have connections, they have the Facebook connection, Instagram, phone, whatever. They will go to these people and try to make you the bad one, and
Or the
that
crazy one.
or the crazy one, and make it seem like, oh, I didn't do anything, and now there's many things that they will try to use, because they will try to get you back. And these are also hints. I think they should be even stronger than hints that this person is actually not they don't have the best intentions towards you, and they probably have that narcissistic energy going about them. Okay, let's talk about astrology. Donnie already mentioned about the axes, and I I like to maybe bring in other signs as well. But I want to mention, guys, like if we're talking about Libras, and again Libra ascendant, it doesn't mean that you, or if you are a Pisces ascendant, or if you're a Leo ascendant, or Leo strong, anything, doesn't immediately mean that you're this narcissistic people. Like I've seen people be able to use these energies in a proper way, the higher way, like the higher octave of Leo is living a lot from their heart, creating things for other people, caring about their family, creating entertainment for people. So, and teaching, even I would say Leo is a lot to do with teaching, as well as performance. It's a lot to do with the loving heart energy. It doesn't mean that you're immediately going to be a narcissist, so please keep that in mind, definitely. Now, a couple of things I want to mention that might surprise people. I think especially the first one I put here is South North. Maybe North Node is more kind of like makes sense, but South Node in the first house is a lot of these people have this experience early on in their life where some of the attention has been drawn from them, drawn out of them. They what I've seen is, and I have an example chart as well. It's they might be the middle child. They might not get the attention, unfortunately, or there's some sort of competition with the sibling, and they almost like they don't understand why they're not getting the attention. So it kind of sucks out of that the attention on them to such a degree they have to develop this disorder, or this way of coping, this coping mechanism. Let's call it maybe that. Now, over dominant sun, Leo stellium. I think this is, Donnie already mentioned this one. I think this is, again, like it's your, or it's the person's decision how they can use it. Even I want to say, like, sun in a difficult place meant as well in the chart. Like, this can be an eighth house sun as well, especially if it's in Leo. Problematic in my experience.
Can I add something as well?
Of course.
Because I have also found that if people have got like a emphasis on so-called dark houses,
Yeah.
talk about second, sixth, eighth, and 12th house. Maybe there's a stellium there, maybe not. But I have seen that second, sixth, eighth, and 12th, if they got something pronounced over there, maybe there's Pluto there, something of that nature.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm talking about houses that doesn't form like a major aspect with the ascendant.
Yeah, and maybe even if there's some sort of hard aspects there to add to the positions or planets, it will even kind of make it more obvious, I would say, as well.
Actually, eighth house less so, I found, because eighth house is like other people's resources.
Uh,
And
uh,
eighth house is also about intimacy. It's less of that. So I probably will focus on 12, second, and 6. But 12 and 6, I've seen it happen quite a bit. And also second. Eighth, not as much.
I have an
That's
example. I can understand what you're saying, but I just have
yeah.
an example of the eighth house where it's where it's
It can be,
you
it
can,
depends also it depends what planets are inside there.
yeah.
And also the ruler of the eighth house, what is it doing? Maybe it's in a 12, second, or 6. Then they may actually have some kind of concealment, possibly gaslighting, or some kind of compulsive lying that exists in order to kind of get the intimacy, because eighth house is intimacy in the end. And but on a more physical level is to get resources from another, second from the seventh. That's the eighth house. Yeah.
So we for this webinar, guys, we will cover everything in more depth in the full-blown webinar where we teach with you as well, or learn with you. Maybe an honorable mention, or maybe it's not an honorable mention, it's more of an important mention. First house stellium, I think Donnie mentioned as well, like a lot of people with this first house stellium, I think it's a struggle for them to balance the self and other people's needs. So it can literally, this is where we're talking about maybe not the covert ones, but very like overt ones.
It depends on the sign as well. Yeah, what sign is that
Definitely.
stellium? Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
it's an Aquarius, it might be a different case. But like if it's a Libra, Leo, I would say more on the overt side. Pisces, maybe Aquarius, maybe a little bit on the covert side if we want to make some sort of a differentiation. Yeah, let me see. I think one thing I really wanted to mention was Neptune, hard square, opposition to Moon or Sun, or Neptune in the 4th or 10th house as well. Now, why is that important? Why is that even, the way does it make sense? Now, the person can feel invisible to one of their parents or within the family unit. Like remember at the beginning of the webinar, or this webinar, I mentioned about the decision. So the decision there is how to use that energy. Do I become a victim and start using manipulative tactics, or do I develop these empathetic skills, try to survive first and foremost through the family unit, and then later on I find the healing that will, let's say, help me develop like the loving heart energy, the empathetic nature, all of those good things that we've discussed. Or I will go into the dark side. I will use that pain and not getting the attention as a becoming basically Darth Vader, in a sense, because that can happen as well. And definitely, trines and other aspects can help here. So if there's something good there, or the sign is okay, or the house, even like you said, like Donnie said, like if it's in a dark house, again, can cause more issues. So what else did I want to say about this?
I think
Go ahead.
your third bullet point about Jupiter's sun,
Yeah,
we talk a lot about Leos, right? Just like kind of take attention away from the sign of Leo. That Jupiter's sun extremes of grandiosity. It also links to the signs of Sagittarius
yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah.
also Capricorn as well. Through the connection of Anticia, by the way, because signs are secretly connected through Anticia and Sagittarius and Capricorn, because Capricorn is the natural kind of uh, sign of the 10th house, so we cannot exclude Capricorn as well. So grandiosity can be Capricorn and Sagittarius energy. Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. One thing I wanted to mention here is especially important is not enough water energy. If there's not enough water energy, just because water is associated with empathy, these more sensitivity, more like these emotional, let's say our emotional lives and emotional nature. The moon is water ruled, and if there's a deficiency there, there's a, like Don mentioned Capricorn multiple times, like if there's an overwhelming arc of Capricorn, it's a very practical material. It's harder for these people to connect to that feeling, sensitivity, emotional
And on the
side of
same
people.
note, not enough earth as well, I found. Like they lack earth.
Yeah.
May also contribute to that, to this tendency, because if there's not enough earth means that you've got the other three elements that's populated. And I found that actually like too much water, they can be too into themselves. They can't see what's beyond them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
almost like in this kind of perpetual pool of water that's around them. They can't see beyond the water. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very immersed with their emotions and feeling life, and very much they game floating somewhere constantly. Let's look at really quickly. This I will definitely share this chart in more depth during the webinar as well. Donnie has his own examples, and we'll probably do bits and pieces here.
And boy, do I have them. Yeah.
And guys, if like this is an idea that's popping to head, I actually like this idea of you guys bringing us during the full webinar, you guys bringing us some sort of example that you might be suspicious of, maybe, and bring that to the
Exhibiting
webinar.
strong tendencies of
Yeah, if you see south node here, if you see it, like there's this 12th house thing here, it's a 8th house thing here. It's there's quite a lot going on in this chart, that will give you hints of the dynamics that are there or can be there. So guys, please, let us know what you like. Basically, jump in. Donnie already mentioned, send a message. We want to do this basically as soon as possible. And we really
when we are less busy. Yeah.
when we are less busy. and bring you all of this information and really dig into the charts with you guys as well, and talk about some of the psychological things, astrological things. And if you're already in some of these dynamics, I think it will also help you as a like almost like a support group, and help you kind of like get through these matters.
And I will be putting the details because we haven't like sorted the, you know, the fine prints of or the fine details of this webinar. And so I'll be later on after discussing with Eon, like get the price, get the date, and all those stuff. But in the meantime, you guys can start signing up for the
Yeah.
webinar. Um, and the payment details and stuff like that and contacts. Whatever that I can provide now, I will put it in the description box below or in the comments as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, guys. Yeah. And let us know in the comments for this, preview webinar. Does it? What's happening inside of you? Are you in some sort of situation? Have you noticed some of these patterns? How did you get out? If or let us know what's going on there. I'm always curious to read more as well.
Yeah, I mean now with transit Pluto in Aquarius, one half of the axis to Leo, I think it's time to kind of delve into this topic more.
Awesome, guys. Really enjoyed presenting this, and see you again real soon.